And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you and either they're chiefy, so let's try and learn something together today. Website is dadmodepod.com, or tweet us at dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag dadmode. And apologies for running a rebroadcast last week. These new schedule with Purple for the Win and Bull within Carlson and our man Uncle Nick run out 5 days a week. It's a grind, man. There's a lot of things going on, but I wanted to come in and do a little fresh episode, maybe on the micro side, but a couple of choice items to complain about. Not complain, talk, discuss. That's what we do. First one is Margaret is becoming aware of coloring, and she's pretty good. She's got a couple of coloring books, and she's got some colored pencils. And does anyone else ever just morbidly fear that their kid is going to impale their eye every time they're holding like a sharpened colored pencil? Like every time they're just holding it, and especially when they're between like 1 and 3 years old, they're just hanging on to it with the sharp end up, and then you're just tra-la-la-la-la. Like, I'm surprised that there aren't 50,000 colored pencil stabbings a year, like self-immolating, like self-stabbing, where the kid trips, all of a sudden that pencil just goes straight into the eye and back in through the skull, and except you never hear of it, or it's very rare. It is very rare that you actually hear that happening, but it feels like it should happen all the time, right? But I've gotten around it because the wife, don't get me started. The wife is into adult coloring books. Like, that's what she wanted for her birthday one year. That's what she got, some Outlander one. Anyways, so she enjoys coloring with the color pencils because that's more adult. So obviously Mugsy wants to follow suit, and so she has a lot of color pencils. But no, daddy goes with the crayon route. And if you see a picture of crayons, you can just smell it right away, can't you? And every preschool or kindergarten class had a giant just bin full of crayons, and a lot of kids brought their own crayons. It's really cool. And if your parents were a little bit more well off and loved you a little bit more, you got the Crayola. Oh, and you got the 120 pack with the sharpener on the back. That's how you rollin', son. That's the Rolls Royce of crayons. And if you were kind of poor, you got the off-brand crayons that like snapped in half right away. Yeah, and barely colored because they're mostly like the lower end wax. Yeah, the Crayola ones are made out of like bovine wax and gelatin, so you know it's good. And then you just color it on there like, that's a dead cow. That's how you know it's good. Where am I? Anyways, the crayons is the way to go. But the Mugsy, she's been really good just coloring on a single sheet of paper or in her coloring book, but just randomly packing her up to hit the road, and I saw that she had colored like 2 big ass circles, one on the wall, the other on the TV stand, the TV table. And the TV table's white, it's the part of the IKEA bookshelf thing. It's pretty standard. It's not real wood, it's press board, whatever. But bright white with huge just orange circles on it. And yeah. First off, I was kind of worried because, the wife likes to keep a clean house. And I'm like, if this doesn't come out, this is going to be my ass. You ever get into one of those spots where you're not really concerned about what actually happened? You're more concerned if you could actually get in trouble for it. Yeah. You had many of those moments as a kid. So I grab I don't know how to get crayon out of stuff. I don't even know if crayon comes out of things. So I just grab a wet dish towel Or I grab a dish towel, I wet it up, and then start just rubbing it. I'm like, oh, it's going to come out. I had to put a little bit of elbow grease into it, but it came out, and it's good. The wall was a little bit different. I think we're just going to have to repaint. Yeah. I know that you can get, there's some higher-end paints, and we're going to be repainting the living room anyway, so we'll probably get that where it's, like, kid indestructible. Like, any sort of colored pencil or crayon or like water-based paint can go on the wall and just wipes off. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna have to do. The second thing, so she before we do, she's starting to do that. I fully expect the walls from about 3 feet under just to be decorated from head to toe in crayon and colored pencil. It's gonna be great. Yeah. Yeah. Also because the wife and I are making a little bit of an effort for kid number 2. Feel like enough time has passed. We got the good spacing where the kids are, we can recover financially, emotionally from having one kid, because it is a pretty big investment and it is a big change in lifestyle. Even if you're mature and you're ready for it, it's still quite a departure from being a young newlywed couple with no children. And the thing about having kids, if they're more than like 3 or 4 years apart, then it's almost like they're not siblings, and the wife, her brother and sister are all clumped together by I think it's like all 3 of them are within 5 years. And that's probably a good staggering to make sure that when they grow up, they're going to have, a good relationship. A lot of siblings, like if you have a family of 7, the oldest and the youngest one are going to be, like 14 years apart, roughly, on average. And yeah, there's not going to be a lot that a 3-year-old and a 17-year-old are going to have in common. And then you'll find later in life that, even though you're brother and sister, because you're 17 years apart or 14 years apart, you don't really come together until you get older. And we want to have them pretty close together so they have a nice relationship. And if we have, a couple more kids, say we have 3 or 4, if they're say we have 4 kids in a span of a decade, I think that's pretty good staggering. I think that's a pretty good grouping. And, she's got her cousins that are a similar age. I'm rooting for a boy. Nothing against the girls, and if we have 2 girls, it's going to be phenomenal. They're going to be my ladies, and the wife's got some really good names going on. We like the name Blythe. Just like it fits our motif of going unique, not trendy, because trends come and go. Like, remember when so I'm 31, and I can remember when everyone was named Kimberly. Yeah, lots of Kimberlys, lots of Kristens, lots of what else? Oh, Nicole's. Yeah, I probably, between those 3 names, Kristen, Nicole, and Kimberly, there was probably 7 of them in my class. I had a small class. I had a graduating class of 69 people, so that's a lot. And you see it now a lot. Like Mugsy's gonna probably go to school with like a dozen Chloes. Yeah. So Blythe fits in our modus operandus with like Margaret, a little bit older, a little bit more unique, a little bit more timeless as well. But the boy is awesome, and just having one of each. If we stop at 2 kids, that's a good place to go from. We got the daddy's girl, we got the perhaps mama's boy. But as much as I love Margaret, and I love experiencing every single day with her, there's just something different. And I know that we're moving towards gender, blurring the lines, but there's just something to be said about a father and his son and imparting male wisdom and values and masculinity, and I'm just looking forward to it. So kid number 2, it's obviously up to me and my super sperm, but I'm rooting for a boy. I'm rooting for little Andy Jr. I'm still working on that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go through. For some reason, the wife does not want to honor me with a child named after myself. Sad, really. It's sad. I might have to go King Henry VIII. I am on this whole B. Yeah, maybe wife number 2 will give me a junior. It's probably bad to joke about. Last thing I wanted to talk about was, so swimming lessons wrapped up. We had a month run. We're going to go back in June. Okay. And Margaret had a lot of fun at the classes. I was in the pool. It's one of those classes where the parent is there and help the kids throughout the whole thing. Da, da, da. So I did 2 classes. The wife did 2 classes, mainly because I was kind of bored of it. But so we got the report card. And this is not your standard parent complaining about the teacher report card thing of the whole cliche of it used to be the kid's fault if he got bad grades. Now it's the teacher's fault if they got bad grades. No, this is like actual, like legit beef. And she got this little, quote unquote report card, progress card, etc. And you get stickers for every one of the boxes. And she only got 2 stickers out of like 10 boxes. And we thought it was like, it's a little light. It's a little light on stickers. Also, her name was spelled Margot. Like, even though for an entire month it was Margaret on the sheet, Margaret in the classroom, Margaret in the blah, blah, blah. And we looked at the boxes where she didn't get stickers, and it was like, goes underwater. She went underwater the whole time. Jumps into the pool. No, that was her favorite part. Her favorite part was getting out of the pool, jumping back in. She did that over and over and over and over again, and she doesn't get a sticker. I don't know, man. Also, floats on back. She did that all the time, and I don't know. Maybe I'm off base, and this is not going to be a precedent for me complaining every time that my kid doesn't play in a sports or the report card isn't up to snuff. But seeing with my own 2 eyes that she was doing these things, and the 2 things she got stickers for, I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think she did those. So it could just be, hey. Yeah, here it is. Get out of here. Sort of deal where they actually didn't even think about it. They just stuck some stickers on the page and gave it to us and told us to get out. Or it's a vendetta. I don't know. Either way, Margaret loved the water. I think she's going to be a water baby, which is good because I don't want her to be on dance team. And don't even get me started on dance team. Yeah, but that's a quick little catch up and wrap up, and we'll be back with full episodes again here very, very soon. And apologies, but it's a grind, man. So we're rolling. If you want to support the show, dadmodepod.com/Amazon. Take you right to the homepage. You know what to do. Bookmark it. Every time you buy something, you use that link. We get a little credit, and that's what we do. You guys have been awesome so far. And tell a friend about the show in your dad and mommy groups. Tell them about Andy. Tell them about Uncle Nick. Tell them about Dad Mode. Show's available on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. And follow us on Twitter at DadModePod. Me and Andy Carlson Show. The website is dadmodepod.com. But till next time, be a man, be a father, go Dad Mode. And we'll smell you later.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go Dad Mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.